Please rise and remove your hats and other things.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Waiting for what, ROTC? Maybe in our name. I remember. But you know, yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to the 2013 American Cancer Society Relay for Life of Clarksburg. This is an amazing gathering. Just look around you. Families, friends, coworkers, business and community leaders, children, grandparents, and neighbors are all here for the same reason, to put an end to cancer. The next 18 hours will take us together on a life-affirming journey, symbolizing a day in the life of someone fighting cancer, a disease that never sleeps. We're here, that's okay. We're here in We're here in Clarksburg today doing what other relayers do in 5,000 communities across America and in 19 other countries. By walking this track today, you're joining forces with nearly 4 million people worldwide who want to save lives. While each of us has a unique reason for being here, we all have something very much in common. We want to make a difference in the fight against cancer. We have gathered as a community, determined that those who are facing cancer will be supported, that those who have lost their battle will not be forgotten, and that together we will continue to fight back so that one day, no one in Clarksburg will ever have to hear those words, "You have cancer." Please help me welcome one of our very own heroes of hope, Kathy Ives, our 2013 Honorary Chairperson.
Hello, Clarksburg Relay. It is so great to have everyone here today. Thanks to everyone for coming out to celebrate this very worthwhile event. As Hillary said, my name is Kathy, and I am a 19-year cancer survivor. And as of today, a new cancer survivor of 2 months. We have all heard the phrases, life is short, one day at a time, and live each day to the fullest. Wonderful advice, and as a person battling cancer, truer words have never been spoken. When I was 5 years out from my bone marrow transplant, I was feeling pretty good about my future. 10 years out, life was good, and I was more confident that I would make it. 15 years out, life was wonderful, and I finally felt truly confident that I was going to live a long and healthy life. However, as year 19 approached, I wasn't feeling quite like myself. After several trips to the emergency room and several admissions to the hospital, the doctors found a mass in my abdomen. At that point, I was transferred to Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, where I once again heard the words, "You have cancer." Hearing those words once was shocking enough, but hearing them a second time was absolutely horrible. I never imagined I would hear those words again, and I was not prepared to ever hear them again. After a few days of feeling sorry for myself, reality set in, and on March 18th of this year, my second journey with cancer began. I underwent surgery on March 18th to have the tumor removed. My prognosis prior to surgery was not very good, and certainly nothing that I wanted to hear. I actually told my surgeon, Dr. Hiroshi, that the statistics he was giving me they certainly did not apply to me, that I was not going to be one of those statistics, and that I was ready for the fight. After all, I had turned 18 months to live into 19 years so far. Today, 2 months from surgery, with the wonderful staff at Johns Hopkins, the incredible support of friends, and the support and unconditional love of my family, I am doing great. No one knows what the future holds, but I am sure that I will have many more years to live, and that I will be at many, many more relays. So in closing, remember these phrases. Life can be short. Live one day at a time. Good or bad, it's another day. And live each day to the fullest as if it were your last. Tell someone that may have hurt you, that you forgive them. Tell someone you may have hurt that you're sorry. Tell your friends every time you see them how important they are to you. And tell your family how much they mean to you and that you love them every day. Thank you. In February, I realized I had a very hard decision to make. I realized that I would have to step down as chairperson for this year's relay. This was a very hard decision for me because this event is so important. There is an amazing group of people who stepped up and took on additional responsibilities to make this relay happen. They are your relay committee. Please hold your applause until all the committee members for your 2013 Relay for Life have been introduced. Maggie.
Yay, Maggie!
Karen. Dee. Lisa. Stan. Sean. Brooke. Mackenzie. Melaine. Bradley. Megan. Rebecca. Paco. Kang. Lena, Kat, and Samantha. There is one additional member of our relay committee who without this relay would not have happened. She has worked tirelessly over the last year helping our committee every step of the way. Our American Cancer Liaison, Hillary. Would like to become a member of the Clarksburg Relay family, please come and see me at campsite number 1 or speak to any of our committee members. We would love to have you join our family. Our next speaker is a member of the Clarksburg community and has been an active participant in the Relay for Life at Clarksburg since the beginning in 2009. Please join me in welcoming Mr. John Moore.
Well, I guess I really don't have to speak at this point. It was a wonderful, wonderful speech, and thank you. Wow, it's good to see everybody today. What a difference a year makes. You know, last year was quite a unique experience for us because we we were out here with my son, our son, Carol, and Carly's upstairs there in the bleachers. I'm Sam's dad. That's kind of how I like to kind of refer myself, Carly's dad. The other guy, my bride, Carol, is up in the stands looking at me right now, saying, "What are you doing up here today?" Well, I want to cover a few things today, and today's kind of a special day on 2 points. 2 years ago, on this day, my stepfather died of cancer, and I was with him. I had come back from Iraq. I missed the relay 2 years ago, but Sam captained the team, and the whole gang was there. And once again, Sam I Am brought in the most bucks for the cause, and I had to be there for my stepfather, and I was there for him. And he lost a real tough battle. And then today marks 9 months since Samuel died here in Clarksburg. And so obviously it's a bittersweet time, and you never know what a difference a year makes. So I'm going to talk with you today about a couple of things. One, if you don't know Sam and our story, which I know some of you don't, I'll quickly just touch on kind of what happened a few years ago, November 2009. Our lives changed forever. We were at a late night ice hockey game. Sam was really getting his ice legs, and he was really cranking and really getting into the game. He took a high sticking penalty. He shook it off. He played the rest of the game with a headache, so we scolded him afterwards. "Man, what are you doing? Tell the coach you got a headache, come on." And we made him finish his homework that night with the headache, but we had a doctor's appointment planned for the next day. We thought it was a concussion, maybe not. And then we went to the imaging center up at Shady Grove with Kaiser Permanente. And after the MRI was completed, the technician came out, and he called Carol and Samuel and myself back to the consult room, and he looked pretty frightened. And he immediately said, "There's bleeding on the brain. We've dispatched an ambulance. You're going to Children's." Now, Samuel was 12 years old at that time. He was a punk kid, right? Just a little kid. At least I thought. Boy, was I wrong. That moment I saw a remarkable thing happen. The grace, the strength, the calm, the courage. It was remarkable. He just said, "What does this mean?" And Carol and I both said, "We don't know. But we're going to be there, and we're going to be with you, and we're going to be together." And so for the next 2 days, Sam underwent, a lot of tests. We went right into pediatric ICU. He walked in, much to the shock and surprise and almost horror of the pediatric intensive care staff, because you don't walk into that facility. And he was joking and laughing and wanting to watch TV, and just an amazing sense of calm. But Sam was getting prepared for brain surgery. They were going to remove the tumor. We didn't know this tumor existed. The high sticking penalty actually it caused that tumor to rupture. Thank God it did, because we probably would have lost Sam that year. That's the miracle. Because the miracle, what we got was time. We got precious time, and we didn't know it. And so we went through that first few days. He had a marvelous surgery. He was up within hours, getting up out of the hospital bed, just determined. We saw an amazing strength be revealed. Before, he was my little kid. He was my boy, 12-year-old punk kid, right? But I saw a man be revealed before my very eyes. What a gift. What a gift that was for me, for my bride, Carol. And so we knew that ice hockey was out, right? Our lives were, hey, wait, this is a little blip, right? We're just in our normal churn of life and how we're going to be doing things. But we knew probably ice hockey is going to be out. And we're going to have to break that news to Sam. Can you believe that? That was the worst news we thought we were going to have to break. But we did, and eventually. And we had a whole series of doctors. We spent Thanksgiving that year in the hospital, and what a Thanksgiving day it was. We were very thankful that we found out about it, we had it removed, and we were ready to go. But then we were met with a bunch of doctors, you know how they churn in and churn out. And then the word oncologist kind of slipped out. And if you hadn't had anything happen to you or your kids, and you hear of other children, as a parent, you know that little cold knot you got when you hear about someone else's kid in a real bad way or someone died? It's a real scary knot that you get. I used to get it. I had it then. I don't get it anymore, obviously. But we knew something was on the horizon. So we got the results, and he did have it was cancer. It was a malignant brain tumor. It was a PNET. I won't go into the 57-letter term, but it's something that normally doesn't happen in older kids. But the prognosis is good, and they proceeded to prescribe a very, very aggressive treatment for Samuel. Very high dose radiation, very intense radiation, and then very, very high dose chemotherapy, and it was inpatient hospitalization. And so that took us on a real tough journey. And so, you know, we had to get our sea legs. This community wrapped their arms around us like you wouldn't believe. It was truly remarkable from all walks of life. From my work world, from Carol's art world, the community, the school. This is a remarkable community, and they were there for us, and they still are today. So we got through a real tough period of time. And through that time, we saw things in this little kid who became this incredible young man. The courage, the strength, the power. We saw all of this be revealed. You know, we leaned on Sam because he knew he was there for us. When we had the tough times, he would have this stoic resolve. Knowing something or not, he would just put it aside and keep living. And so we had a period of time where after the treatments, the prognosis was good. He went into remission. We kind of slipped back into life, though, kind of a bit. We got back into things. Sam got back into scouts. He got back into karate. He got back into a lot of things. It was truly remarkable. We were given another gift. One of the things that was most important for me is that I took a leave of absence from my office, and I was there with Carol and Carly the entire time. During the first phase, and of course during the last phase. We had a lot of relays, we had a lot of events, we had a lot of fun, we had a lot of parties. One of the things that we did throughout this time, I started a Caring Bridge page, and I think many of you know what those are. It's like a blog. And I mainly did it just to keep control of the comms. Everyone wanted to know what's going on, and I just pushing information out. And then it became something different. It was something where I was able to, the honor, the privilege, the blessing to be able to tell Sam's story, to share with many people, and I brought a lot of people into this, and there were people from all walks of life, all around the world that kind of tied in this thing and followed Sam's story, followed our lives. Of course, had to be kind of careful in terms of privacy because he was a teenager. But throughout that time, things happened to us. And we realized a lot of things that would play into this, and we kind of developed a declaration of sorts. Now, it wasn't one of those where we got up every morning and we waved the flag and set our declaration to what we need to do. It was just kind of a thing and how we would live our lives. And that declaration evolved over time. Something would happen. We realized this is a war we're fighting. And we got to take it one day at a time. Pretty good words, huh? I think you hit right on it. So it started out, this is a war we're fighting. We're going to take it one day at a time. And then we realized each situation would come up, each procedure, each problem set would run before us, the sickness Sam would go through, and we realized, we got to take this one battle at a time. And so the declaration would evolve. The war we fight, one day at a time, one battle at a time. And then we would get into a routine, think things would be okay, we'd get complacent. And then we'd realize, holy moly, the insurance thing got screwed up. The doctor didn't follow through on a test. Something really bad happened. Complacency is our enemy. So then add to our declaration. Like I said, we're not, getting up in the morning, saying the Pledge of Allegiance and saying our declaration. But it's how we're living our lives. The war we fight. One day at a time, one battle at a time. Complacency is our enemy. And then other things would play out. And we go, you know what? Cancer is not going to define who we are. This war is not going to define who we are. We're going to live life. Because we know tomorrow is promised to no one. So cancer will not define who we are. While we're in the battle, and even beyond. So we go on. And we have fun. We do things. We go places. We travel. We got to deal with all the procedures and the process of things we've got to deal with. And all along, Sam is just plugging away. He's doing amazing things. Surprising everybody. Learning new things. Obviously he's a musician. He's a band, he plays the bass. Get back into scouts. It's karate. He took on the Rubik's Cube, and I don't know if you know how to do a Rubik's Cube, but I'll tell you what, there's a bazillion kind of Rubik's Cubes out there, and he knew how to do them all. They started a club, and now they're like monster cubers, and they can do them in seconds. Sam just knew how to do it. So we think about, it will not define who we are. And you know what? Here's another one. We're in control. At least so we thought. But we're in control about how we respond to things. We control how we react to things, the things that come upon us and hit us. But ultimately, we're in God's hands. So we add that to our declaration. The war we fight, one day at a time, one battle at a time. Complacency is our enemy. Cancer will not define us. We are in control, but we're in God's hands. Wow. And so we plug on, and we move, and we get through. And we had that remarkable year. It was probably a year and a time that we had to recharge because we had the most difficult battle ahead of us. A very treacherous and a very scary one. And so it was July 2011. I got a phone call. Carol has spidey senses. She knows things. And she knew. The doctors didn't know, she knew. Remember, complacency is our enemy. And the cancer was back. And it was back in a real bad way. And this time it was a GBM. And it's a pretty deadly one to have. And especially with reoccurring. But you know what? The last thing that we added to our declaration is never stop fighting. And Sam added that one. Never stop fighting. And so we did a lot of things. We had a lot of very different experiences during the second phase. There's a lot of experimental treatments. And it took a toll on Sam this time around. But he never complained. I can only hope and pray if I ever face anything like this, I can go halfway and meet what he did. Never stop fighting. And so when you think about this declaration, I think about, wow, that's not really a declaration when you're fighting a war or dealing with trials and tribulations. It's a declaration for life. You think about all of those things, how you respond in life. You take life one day at a time. Okay, maybe it's not a battle, maybe it's just a trial or tribulation. Maybe someone at school's getting in your business and you don't like them and it's a bully. All right, that's a battle, but you take it one day at a time, right? And you take it one battle at a time. Hey, wait, Take cancer out of the equation. Put a blank there and say, insert your problem here. Don't let those problems define you, right? Think about everything that goes on in your lives, whether you're a kid in school, or mom or dad dealing with your kids who are just not, doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? You're flipping and flapping, you're starting to freak out, right? The grades maybe not. Don't let it define you. So you can start looking at all of those things in that declaration. Never be complacent. Never be complacent with life. Never be complacent with anything that we have in our lives. The gifts that we're given, wow. Complacency is truly an enemy. And I think one of the things you say, never stop fighting. Sam taught us to never stop living. Sam knew his fate. Sam knew his fate. When we were here a year ago, we were on borrowed time. They told us Sam had 6 months to live. Now, if y'all remember Sam out here, he did, several miles. Goofing around, having fun, playing Frisbee. He even met up with his old sensei, Jake, and they went right out there and he broke a board. It's in his room. A few months before he died, he went skeet shooting with one of his bubbas. Went skeet shooting. Never stop living. Wow. My little punk kid taught me that. Huh? The power of Sam. After the first battle, the first phase, we had that period of time where we were recharging, and Carol, my bride, who's I can't even begin to tell you, an amazing artist. And she's a printmaker. And so that's a process by which you etch things into metal, you hit it with acid, you put ink on it, and you create these amazing creations. And she was inspired by the power of her boy, the power of Sam. And what you see, that's the etching, that's the print that was done. And when you look at it, and you'll see a lot of Sam's team around here that has it on the back of their shirt. That's taken from a picture of Sam when he was in that heightened cancer phase, when you lose all your hair. It's kind of a rebirth, as some of the oncology nurses told us. That's the rebirth look when you come back. And those eyes of Sam, you look into your soul. And you'll see the intense things around in the background that represents the radiation. And the numbers represents the phases of the chemotherapy that he went through. And these were treacherous times. And he met all of these things with such grace. He had such grace and such strength. I remember when he went in for his first radiation treatment at NIH, and they have this mask that they form fit to your face, and they lock you down. And he was there for quite a few hours. And it was one of those weak moments. I had a pity party, and I was boo-hooing when I walked out there, because I left this very scary place. And I left my 12-year-old boy there. And he was locked in. He was there for hours. And so God definitely got upset, but my bride was there with me. And then an hour or two, maybe 3 later, I went in to get Sam, expecting the worst, right? And they unlocked him. He popped up. He goes, "Man, I'm glad that's over. Let's go get some food." Huh? I knew we were going to be okay. That little boy became a man. And though Sam is not here in our presence today, I know the man. I get to see it, huh? Wow. So the power of Sam. So that's where it was created. We watched it. We saw it within him. And then the power of Sam kind of turned into something different. It turned into something where people around us started doing things. And watching out for each other, taking care of stuff, and coming together for causes that were greater than themselves. And you start thinking of all the things, the relay activities that we did, the fundraising and the events that the Scouts did. And then the activities at the middle school, Rocky Hill, right over the hill, no pun intended, huh? They all started coming together. The power of Sam. The power of Sam is in a lot of different things. You know, since Samuel passed away, there was a lot of money that's been raised because of the power of Sam, the goodness in others. And that's one of the things I think is very important for all of us to know, that it's service to others, and it's, you know, and it's taking care of each other, and it's love. That's the most important thing. And so when we heard of the blood drive and the toy drive at Rocky Hill in Sam's honor, wow, right? Power of Sam. And then the dance-a-thon here at Clarksburg in Sam's honor, the power of Sam. The first time we saw it was a ragtag bunch of people, fellow Scouts and wacky parents came together at this relay and threw a little team together. I think it was a Dr. Seuss theme at the time? That was the theme. And so they came up with this crazy name called Sam I Am. And then from there, something pretty amazing came out. And each year, I think they've won the top wage earners, right? Yeah, okay, there's a little challenge to everybody else. And I think each year, Sam maybe tipped the scales and brought in the most cash himself. And then I saw something else. I saw my daughter. I call her Supergirl Carly, always have. She captained the team for 2 years for the National Honor Society. Power of Sam. Scary times, but people drawing that courage that Sam showed us. The shoulder he gave us to lean on. Power of Sam. I'm humbled, absolutely humbled, to be his dad. I am still his dad. My finest moments as a human being, truly, I don't have to sit on a rocking chair, you know, and think back. My finest moments is being a dad to my daughter Carly and to my son Sam. And so we had a big party. We had a crazy little party. We had a lot of parties. Chick-fil-A was always a big one. You ever go to Chick-fil-A? Get the #1 no pickle Dr. Pepper. That's a Sam special, by the way. So we had a great party. And the guys, Chick-fil-A actually brought a lot of stuff in, and they invited us to Chick-fil-A, and they had a fan appreciation day in Sam's honor, and Sam brought a bunch of buddies over, and they all chowed down on Chick-fil-A. And then after we left Chick-fil-A, we all came back to the house, a whole bunch of other people come, and we had a big party. And of course, they made a mistake. Chick-fil-A gave us a bunch of the little stuffed animal cows. All right, so what's going to happen to these poor stuffed animals when you put them in the hands of a bunch of boys? Nothing good can happen of it, okay? A lot of bad things happen to those poor little animals. But a couple of ingenious little guys, they're not so little now because I look up to all of them because they're all taller than me. Not a difficult thing to do. But they made a cow's knot. They wrapped this cow in foil and shoved this poor cow in a water bottle and put about 11,000 balloons, all stuffed with helium, and they decided to launch this cow into space. They put a lot of notes and stuff in it. Typical things a bunch of guys do. And so I could sit here and, you know, obviously talk on forever when it comes to my family and my boy Sam. But I'll end it with this. They sent that cow into space. It's floating around here somewhere. I figured what we'd do today is kind of do a little honorary remembrance of Sam and maybe send up a cow's knot to him. And so with that, I'm going to close, and then we're going to send this cow where it needs to go, send it on its way, and we'll go from there. Go ahead, my friend. All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Never stop fighting, obviously, but never stop living. Have fun out here tonight. You know, I think it's going to be nice and cool. I know years past it's been real hot and sweaty. This is better, huh? Never stop fighting. God bless all of you, and I'm going to turn it over to Hillary. Take care.